Hi everyone and welcome to episode 258 of the Mike White's podcast. I'm Jack, as always joined by Casey.
Now that
How's things, mate? I'm guessing by the way that it just popped up at the bottom of the screen that you finished work within the last 8 minutes.
Oh yeah.
Your turn to be rushing around like fuck. See, I had loads of time. I got home like a whole 16 minutes ago. Loads of time.
All right, no need to flaunt it.
Yeah. But outside, other than the rushing about, how are you?
Yeah, pretty good. Getting there.
Nice.
Shit.
Yeah. Well, you may be shit, but Friday has the potential to be any number of adjectives before the word Friday. It could be horrific. I should have said, look at the adjective play. We ain't here to play. But yeah,
will it in fact be a reasonable Friday?
Yeah, it's got the potential to be absolutely anything, hasn't it? Really. All four of the main promotion chasing teams playing all at different times. Bristol City v Leicester's 12:30. Southampton Middlesbrough at 3, Blackburn Ipswich 5:30, and then us away at Watford at 8. Because we'll spend obviously all the time talking about the Leeds games, we should probably quickly say what we reckon the other teams will be and how we definitely think they're all going to win 6-0. Do you hold out any hope for Bristol City at home to Leicester?
It's very much a hope that the Championship does what it does sometimes. As a team that are... Yeah, I mean, yeah, they're safe. They are so safe and yet very poor. But yeah, you're just kind of hoping that out of nowhere, for no apparent reason, they're going to beat Leicester.
Yeah. Southampton at home to Middlesbrough. I can't see Leicester not winning. Southampton at home to Middlesbrough. If it was at Middlesbrough, I'd be thinking, oh, that's quite tricky, but I think Southampton will be fine at home.
Yeah, I think Southampton have got that one.
And then Ipswich away at Blackburn.
We mentioned
that's probably got the most potential.
Well, I think on the last podcast, I think we said that Blackburn at mid-table, they're 3 points off relegation.
But
I know there's a lot of teams in between them, but they're only 3 points off, and yet they have like the highest. They have like the top goal scorer in the division. This very much smacks of Ross McCormack. Yeah. Just help us, Sammy Smodics.
Yeah, I think if one of them was going to drop points, I think that's the most likely.
Yeah, I still don't see it, but
well, if you're like me and thinking, yeah, they'll all win, it's about 4-1 that treble. That's what I'll be doing, which basically means, as always, Leeds have to win. That is the one thing where, because we're playing last, if they've all won, it makes it so much worse. If they've dropped points, it probably is a good thing to be playing last.
It's like the stupid thing is, well, when you look at these games, we've just looked at Leicester playing Bristol City, and we're just kind of assuming fairly looks like a comfortable Leicester win. Watford are literally a point ahead of them. And I look at it and think, oh, well, Vicarage Road.
It's London, or at least it's near enough.
It's pretending to be London.
I mean, for what it's worth, out of all of them, in terms of like the bookies price, Southampton are just the shortest at 11-20, and then it's us at 8-15, Leicester 4-6, and then Ipswich at 10-11. I'm sure there's a slight variance bookie to bookie, but they've got us at similar levels of price, but they have us stronger favourites to win than Leicester are. And in my head, that's not true.
It's a close game against a relatively recent former Premier League team.
Yeah. That's the problem with the way that the top four have gone. You just can't. You just keep looking and going, we're going to have to win every week, and we're going to have to win every week. And then you're just looking at that Southampton game on final day, which I don't know if we mentioned it. That's moved to 12:30 now. They were always going to move them all because they're not going to be at Saturday 3:00 ever.
Right. You knew this in August. You knew. How did you get to 5 weeks before the end of the season? Thought we might want to televise these, and I know it's not the biggest shift.
Yeah, and everyone knew that they would move
every single fucking season. Those games move. It's not even like it. Like somehow, if you got to this point of the season and went, actually, everyone's pretty much where they're going to finish. There is nothing to play for.
Yeah,
fair enough, but there's always something.
There's always going to be who gets in the playoffs or something.
I don't understand why when the fixtures are announced, they don't just say, and all the championship games are going to be Saturday 12:30.
Yeah. And final day, all of them are Saturday 12:30. All the League Ones are 5:30.
Like, why? Why not?
No, you're right. It makes no sense. It is stupid.
Fucking idiots.
Speaking of fucking idiots, I don't actually think they are, but I just needed a segue. Is our medical department fucking idiots? Because Pascal Straub has now had surgery.
Yeah, he's joined Adam Forshaw in the physio's room in the sky.
Yeah. As I say, I don't actually think they're idiots. It sounded like he looked like he'd be all right, came through training, and then he wasn't. But yeah, he's out for the season, which means that we could have really done without Ethan Ampadu playing 120 minutes last night.
Yeah. It's one of those, isn't it, where I'm saying this as someone with few to no medical qualifications whatsoever.
Few to no? Are you saying you have passed the first aid course? Is that what...
every 3 years, I think you'll find.
Yeah.
With repeated concussion tests, both for me and on other people.
Yeah.
It's one of those, isn't it? Like with Forshaw and like with others, where you just sit there and go, right, why didn't you just send him for surgery in the first place? It seems simple, really.
Yeah.
He got hurt, and then he needed surgery.
Yeah.
Ergo, why have we wasted 2 months?
I'm having surgery right now and loving it.
Nice.
Yeah.
The Scrubs references are much nicher on this podcast than the Simpsons one.
Don't talk about niche, we'll end up in a hole.
Yeah, well, to be fair, there's only one ex-footballer I think of when I think of Nietzsche, and he is persona non grata at the moment.
He's currently busy bullying like a 16-year-old lass or whatever it is he was doing.
Yeah.
And also a disabled bloke, which is always a great look.
Yeah, it's one of those. I mean, Ethan Ampadu's going to play anyway. I think Ethan Ampadu could get hit by a train, and I think Farker might name him in the team 3 days later.
Yeah.
Yeah, like you say, you could have done without him, Roden and Dan James playing as much as they did, and Connor Roberts also getting injured.
Yeah, well, may as well mention that now. Obviously, Roberts went off injured against Poland. Willie Nonto is a doubt with a hamstring injury. Gruev is a doubt with an ankle injury. None of them are ruled out for Friday as yet. Farger's also uncertain whether Rutter will be involved against Watford following the hernia surgery. He has taken part in some team training, but the quote was carefully optimistic that he can be in the squad, which to me sounds like bench at best.
And
Firpo doesn't get back from international duty until late tomorrow morning.
Yeah, it did sound. I think the details I read were there are no direct flights to Leeds from the Caribbean.
Yeah,
I don't think there's any direct flights to Leeds from the US, so you would be struggling there. But anyone who's tracking flights will have a fun time with that one, I imagine. So
Yeah, I was going to say that is an issue. I will say it isn't just us. Like, I've had a quick glance at, like, Watford, Wesley Hurt is out suspended for it's his second one, but they're like 3 behind the striker. Yasser Espria was away with Colombia and scored. You would assume that's not an easy one to get back from. Ismail Kone was in the Canada team that has now qualified for the Copa America. And that probably isn't the quickest strike back. And Chak Vatadze, the left winger, has qualified with Georgia. And I assume Georgia qualifying for the Euros doesn't mean straight home after the game.
Are you thinking he might have had a celebratory drink?
They've earned it. I mean, Georgia qualified for the Euros is pretty good going, right? So
I mean, they've done it in
that.
They've done it in the name of Georgie Gakakidze. Like, that's
We're the only people that wouldn't say Georgie Kinkladze.
Yeah. Thank you, Football Manager 2005.
Yep. They've also had Ryan Porteous and Matt Siralta in midfield away, but they're already back, so they should be fine. And Jamal Lewis has been injured, but they reckon he'll be back. So it's not just us with a few missing, but I'd be very surprised if Firpo was to start. He's back that way. I think it'll be Byron.
Yeah, I mean, you're kind of looking at it now in terms of, especially with no Straug, I can't see Cooper coming in out of nowhere to start unless Ampadu or Roden physically can't.
I think he did start for Scotland against Northern Ireland last night, but I know Northern Ireland won 1-0. I haven't looked at it. I haven't read anything about it.
Yeah.
But I believe he started that game.
I suppose the issue is if Gruev's injured, then either Ampadu or Gray need to move into midfield.
You wouldn't. I just look at it and think, I don't want a midfield of Gray and Kamara.
Yeah, it would be. It would more likely be Ampadu, I think, in terms of trying to go like for like.
Yeah.
But at the same time, really reluctant to take Ampadu out of the defence just because of how good him and Roden have been.
Yeah, you don't. That's the problem with having no Straug. So yeah, you've to really hope that
centre mid Liam Cooper.
Yeah, you've to really hope that Gruev's fit. That would make makes all the decisions a lot easier. Obviously, Meslier will definitely play. You would obviously Roberts getting this knock basically makes mind up that he'll be Gray right back. Yeah, Roden, Ampadu, and Byron. And then,
if I was kind of thinking outside the box with it, it's maybe Shackleton comes in at right back. But even then,
if Gruev was injured, I suppose that's possible. It is actually. I didn't realise quite how big of a hole that could leave if we lost Gruev at the minute.
Yeah, this has been the problem when you have 4 central midfielders at the club and all 4 of them are starting. So,
I'm assuming that
bloody hell, Victor, sign a centre mid for God's sake.
Yeah.
Wrong season.
Yeah, I think that they'll probably just, even if Gruev's only like 80%, I think he'll probably play. Then they'll just stick with Gruev and Kamara. As Nonto has a hamstring injury, although it's a quick turnaround, probably James on the right, then Somerville left. And then, do you think it's Perot behind Bamford? Or I could see it being that, like, Somerville plays 10 and Mateo Joseph plays. Because he's done that off the bench a few times. And it's still Bamford leading the line, but...
Or Jaden Anthony goes to the left.
Yeah, possible. I think it'll... I don't think Rutter will start this, so I think it'll be Peru behind Bamford.
I think that's probably... I think that's the most likely. I wouldn't mind seeing Somerville at 10. Because I think it'd be quite nice to give him a bit more freedom because I think I think you see teams that are kind of doubling up on him out wide at the moment at times. So I think it'd be quite nice for him to have a bit of extra room on the field to kind of wander into. But I do think it'll be Pirou.
Yeah. There isn't loads to talk about in their squad that we haven't already mentioned. Like that, I believe Jeremy Ngaki is out injured, as is Ken Sema. Goalkeeper's pretty decent. That Daniel Bachmann's a pretty good keeper, but he's one of them that's got a mistake in him. I have no idea who Matty Pollock at centre back is, but according to Who Scored, he had a really good game last time out. And if Hurt's out, I'm assuming he's going to play alongside Porteous.
Yeah, they're an interesting looking team at this point, because there is a lot of players I don't know a lot about, and then there's Jake Livermore and Tom Ince as well, who are
I've got Jake Livermore written down as I think the ghost of football past Jake Livermore is there. They've got that Tom Delibishiru as well, and he's pretty decent. But yeah, I'd forgotten that they had Tom Ince. I was going to say, they beat Birmingham 1-0 last time out, and before that, 1 point from 4 matches. But to be honest, there's only really any sense looking at the Birmingham game because that was Tom Cleverley's first game in charge. Yes, we are all 100 years old.
Sorry, I'd forgotten about this. So when you were about to start naming Watford players, I was thinking, Tom Cleverley's there, and just start listing out, and Ben Foster's there, and they're like, oh no, Tom Cleverley is there as a manager. Ugh.
Yeah, it's weird that, but 1 from 1, can't really argue with that. It's admittedly, Birmingham are awful.
Yeah, it's not the. I wouldn't go so far as to say that's an indication as to how good they are.
No.
I mean, who loses to Birmingham anyway?
Yeah, it'd be almost impossible, wouldn't it? In fact, we lost to the Birmingham that were 5th before they decided to shoot themselves in both feet and the hip.
Not the hip. Sorry, I completely forgot that Tom Cleverley played in the Team GB Olympic team as well.
Yeah. Oh, don't bring that up, because then the kit will come up, and then there's bastardizations of flags, and the next thing you know, we're in communist Russia.
Has there been an issue with the flag on the England shirt? haven't read about it.
Yeah. So, how confident are you about this one?
I don't know if it's just, well, I suppose now that I've heard the team news as well, I've come down a touch. I still think we should win. Like, we're still putting out a decent team. I think we should win this.
Yeah, I suppose that's probably going to be true for pretty much. Well, I mean, as the Southampton games at home, that we will be bookies' favourites for every game, won't we now?
Yeah.
Until the end of the season. I haven't heard from Connie, so I'm going to do our rule if I don't know, which is I'm going to go for the shortest price win. That's a tie between 2-0 and 2-1. So I'm just going to go for 2-1 this time. For Connie, because I haven't heard from him yet. Alex has messaged me. He's going 3-1 win. I've got 1-1 draw.
I'm going 2-0 win.
2-0 win. I mean, it's kind of interesting that you're the only one going for a clean sheet, although Connie doesn't get a choice, obviously. I will change it if he gets in touch with me before the game. But, what is it? We've conceded no open play goals in the league this year, and we've only conceded 3 overall.
Yeah.
If Leicester were in that form, I'd be saying they're going to win 6-0. But I can't be that confident about Leeds.
No, it's going to be interesting because we've not had many league games of Bamford and Pirou.
No, have we played both from the start? Because when Pirou came in late away at Swansea, it was for Bamford, wasn't it?
Yeah.
I don't know if they've played together, but I don't think they've started together. Because Rutte has not missed many.
It's not. I know they started together against Peterborough in the cup, didn't they?
Yeah.
I'm just trying to think in terms of league fixtures, but no, like I said, Georgie's not missed many.
I don't think Georgie's missed any.
So yeah, it's going to be an interesting one. I'm more confident about it working with Peru, with Bamford being up there.
Yeah, I'm also looking at this Watford team and the legs in it in central midfield. The three behind the striker, their front four are actually pretty good. Like they'll probably play Emmanuel Dennis up front, and he's a good player. You don't get double figure Premier League goals without being pretty good. And he's still only 26, so it's not like it's back in the day he was.
Yeah.
But because of their centre mids, which will likely be like I think at Ellen Road they put that Zerelto in midfield, and he held the predicted lineup as Kiembe and Livermore. I don't think Peru is going to have to do mountains of chasing about in this game because I think they'll sit relatively deep. They're like 4-2-3-1, pretty standard. Tactically, it's not going to be that interesting because both teams will be in the same formation. As he won't have to do loads of chasing about, I'm less worried about Peru at 10. You're always going to lose something when you don't have Georgie there, just because his ability to beat a player shifts oppositions around so much and creates so much space. But so long as Georgie's all right for Monday, we should be okay for one game way out.
Yeah, I think. I think we'll be all right. I think you'll probably notice that we probably miss a touch of creativity in there. Especially if you're kind of losing Nonto as well, who, while not on the Rutte levels, I think you get it's Dan James as a winger is a touch more functional than Nonto is.
Yeah. Do you think that missing that penalty will have any effect on Dan James's confidence levels?
I imagine it's one of those things that it's probably going to be up in his head until he gets playing.
Yeah.
And I think once you're going, I think you're fine.
Because without wanting to be awful, it is true. When we've all seen, every single person who watches football has seen this. When you watch someone walk up to take a penalty and you just go, "Oh, I don't fancy him," and he did have that look on his face, like he didn't look confident. I thought Kiefer Moore had the same look, and then he got it in off the bar twice. So it can go the other way. It can become a brilliant penalty.
Yeah. I know this is very much a brief aside, but I did think Poland's penalties were fantastic.
Yeah.
Like they were well taken penalties.
I wonder if they had a thing that God, his name's just gone. The Danny Ward. I wonder if they'd had a thing that like he's way worse diving to one side than the other because all the penalties were same side of the goal.
Whereas, I mean,
the only other time I've seen that was there was a Sheffield United Cup game where it went to penalties and Paddy Kenny was clearly injured and could only dive to one side. So they just put all the penalties the other side and we all went in.
What a strategy. I mean, the thing I was a little bit disappointed about, anytime it goes to a penalty shootout, you didn't see Danny Ward with a little bit of paper. It's what's needed, even if there's nothing on it. Have the little bit of paper.
Yeah, you need to be Mamadashvili, the Georgia keeper.
Yeah,
I saw him reading it.
Exactly. It might have just said. It might have been like, when was it Paul Ince's notes for Blackburn when he was manager there, where he just wrote "shoot" on a bit of paper. Like, grand, well done. Just pretend to have something on some paper. It's fine. Mad games.
Well, it'll be interesting. I'm working through the day Friday, so I should be able to watch the other games while I'm working. Are you liable to bother with either the Leicester game or South. I probably won't bother with the Southampton game at 3:00, but I think I will watch Bristol City and Leicester at 12:30.
I will probably get to see that game.
Yeah.
I can't bring myself to watch Ipswich nick it at the end.
Well, I'll probably see the first half of that, because when it gets to half time, that'll be about time to go to Welland Road. No, I won't. That's Monday.
Yep.
Monday 8:00, Friday 8:00. These 8:00. By the way, two bank holiday games, both at 8:00. That stinks, by the way. As it goes, I'm not going to the Watford game, and I live fairly near Welland Road, and I'm not on public transport. But if you are on public transport, it's a fucking ball ache, that.
Yeah, I mean, famously, even the outskirts of London, very easy to get away from after 10:00 at night.
Yeah. In which is what it'll actually be. Is I'll probably watch most of the Ipswich game at home, and then the last bit in the pub.
Yeah.
But that will do us for episode 258. This is always going to be a quick one because we did everything else the other day. As they're all big days at the minute, but this, with all 4 teams playing all on the same day and same on Monday, it can be a bit of a make or break weekend, can Easter weekend, as we know all too well. So hopefully we don't have any 10-man Wiggins or anything like that.
No. Yeah, I'd like to think we'll be all right.
Yeah. And then Hull on Monday, which will be a really tough game because they're playing pretty well at the minute. So we should be able to be back before that game. I'm not sure when, though, because I'm working Saturday and Sunday.
We'll have to dust Connie off.
Yeah, we'll sort something at some point. But yeah, that'll do us for episode 258. I've been Jack. See ya.
I've been Casey. Have a good one.
In a bit.